All right. Good morning, everybody. Here we are on a pretty Wednesday morning after a public holiday, which everybody thinks is so stupid on a Tuesday to have a public holiday. But I mean, if you had the day and you did whatever you wanted to do, then job done. That's all anyone cares about. We have the gorgeous, beautiful. How does you get better and better every time I see you, and I get worse and worse, Tumi Morake? How does I mean, you get prettier and more gorgeous and more lovely, and it's wrong. It's wrong.
I feed on the souls of my children.
I knew it. So we've got the beautiful Tumi Morake, we've got the lovely Simphiwe Tatwa, and then the hideously monstrous Gareth Cliff all to look after you this Wednesday.
The manly-looking Gareth Cliff.
The monster. The monster. That's what it is. What's happening, Tooms?
Not much, eh? I'm a little bit still jet-lagged, but I'm fantastic.
I always have to check where in the world you might be. Are you in South Africa again? Are you in America? Where are you right now?
Yeah, I'm in South Africa. It's funny because I was speaking to someone who was like, "Oh, are you still in Finland?" I'm like, "My friend, there was a whole other country between Finland and me being here now. I was in Doha as well, but I'm here. I'm here. Yeah, I spent a little time in Qatar as well. That was nice.
Already? Is it nice there? Never been.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. And it's like such a survivor country. I love it. It's like such a bad. Like now I feel like I must find... Huh?
That's how they're doing the World Cup this year.
Yes. I was actually thinking I need to find myself a Habibi who can take me there. I think I still have it in me to get a Habibi. So I just throw in a long wing and...
Yeah, just remember what all those other women have to do to get there. And I don't know if you'd be so keen.
I'll take some domestos.
You'll need it. Yes.
Listen, you do what you need to, Shem.
People have to do it, right?
Right.
Anyway.
Right.
People got to do what they got to do. We've discussed this. Ask Simphiwe. We've discussed it so many times on the show. All these people have they got their OnlyFans going, and they've got. And they're selling like old used underwear and whatever. What you gonna do?
What's on the old used underwear though? Is it just standard or
you want?
You don't know. You must go buy.
You want to be on the yacht for Instagram. You got to do what you got to do, huh?
Yo, but it's too much. I feel like once you thought the Kuchi was the furthest you're gonna go, and then they go, no, there's more. It's that very, but wait, there's more.
Exactly. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. It's disgusting. Well, you wanted to get on the yacht. They always show like they show these beautiful girls like lying on the deck of a yacht in the bikini. And then there's this meme where they show you what's going on the other side of the camera. And there's like these gross old men with hairy backs and like fat stomachs, and they're all like looking at her, and you feel so bad for the girl. But then, these days you make your choices, right?
I'll take a hairy back and a big tummy for like really nice seats for the World Cup. I could stomach that.
What seat is worth it? I mean, really? You went to some of the World Cup games when it was here in 2010, right?
Yeah. It was such a jump. I loved it. It's such... But maybe it's because I love soccer and I love live soccer. I love live soccer. Yeah,
no, it's exciting as hell. I'm not a big sports fan at all, but the World Cup, oh man, that's the only time I become like a super fan.
Yeah,
it's the best time too.
It's
the best of the best teams coming together, the best players coming together. It's like, okay, this is the only time soccer makes sense. I'll even watch. It's the only time.
No, exactly. So let me quickly tell you, Tumi Morake's amazing resume continues to grow. She is on. I mean, this is just amazing. You're a queen of comedy. You've been a TV show host. You've been an actress. You've been a radio host, a presenter. You've done it all. I mean, there's nothing left that you still need to do.
Painting.
But
Oh,
Paint. Oh, you want to be an artist, but you've got something on this weekend, right? The 13th of August. You've got
Yes,
like
we've got
a show at the Theatre of Marcellus at Emperor's.
Yes, it's Love Masadi. I'm hooking up with other female comedians and we're doing the things. I mean, it's Women's Month, right? And everybody's like all in Bogoto and liking and retweeting.
Dakota.
And I'm like, put your money where your mouth is. Here is a whole group of women, talented women, who are going to be doing some dope comedy. Come and support, you know?
It sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's on it with you? I know
We've got
Lihle Msimang is there.
She's hilarious. We've got Angel Campy from Cape Town.
yes.
We're a representative. We're across the board. Um, we've got Lindy, Lindy Johnson is also from the Cape. We've got we've got Tracy Lee Oliver. She is also from the Cape. We've got Nina Hasty.
Oh
Superstar.
wow, okay, we love her.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good time. Unfortunately, Kanye Sabunu lost her mom and is laying her mom to rest this weekend, so she won't be there, but she was on the lineup. And I've got a little surprise act who's coming.
What happens with comedy if somebody has to drop out of the show? Do you just make the show shorter, or does everybody else have to pick up the, make their act a bit longer? Like, how does it work? Does it just
This is where you get to then call your friends sometimes you go, the lineup is too long, let's cut it here. And then if someone becomes unavailable, you either give everybody more time on stage or you add someone special. So I added someone special who's going to be our surprise act. And yeah, I think it's going to be worthwhile.
Okay.
Well, yes. I saw a couple of clips. I haven't watched it yet, but everybody's talking about the roast of Kanye Mbao, which was, I mean, Pops, who we had on the show just the other day, and we had Celeste Mduli on as well. And the two of them were absolutely, from the little bits that I've seen, absolutely devastating. Amazing.
Yeah, no, listen.
So good, right?
Celeste is a cannonball. Like every time I watch her, I've always said there's something about Celeste that makes the room quiet. Like she fills a room and she's freaking funny. And Pops is just, it's like he wakes up and you're laughing. I love his energy. He's got ticklish energy.
Yeah, absolutely. But I didn't realize Thibaut Touch was there as well.
Did you bring the horn? I have to watch. I haven't seen it, so no spoiler alerts. But did he bring the horn?
But he brought the accent, you know what I'm saying.
That must have been a topic. I've never been able to place that accent, and I've heard people call it an American accent. And like I've heard many of them. I've never heard this one. Which one is this one?
It's so good.
It's his accent. They must just call it his accent. They mustn't call it Thibaut Touch and his American. No, Thibaut Touch and his accent.
Yeah, because it's not American. You've heard.
Yeah, don't give it a country. Yeah, don't give it a country. Don't.
Oh my god! Oh, hilarious. So Tabo this morning says Paul was on fire. That was the best panel ever. This roast was done right. A few gimmicks and focus on the jokes. It was super. Yeah.
That's what happens when you get a team of strong writers, because you had Loyiso Goala team. He was leading a team of writers, which included Mojak Lohoko, who's very talented. Lindy, who's going to be in my show, was also one of the writers there. I'm trying to remember who else was there, but it was a very strong team of writers. And roasts, from what I've seen, even when I watch the American ones and the English ones, is if you stick to the script, you get magic. It starts to go wonky when people start to get creative. So you'll find that this worked because people stuck to the script.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's difficult to do that, hey? It's really hard because people get excited, they get carried away, all that kind of stuff. So it really is a hard thing to get right. And everything just has to flow. Plus, of course, these things always on the night, someone might be better than you expect, or someone might be way worse.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's funny to me. I mean, like, I know you guys are the professionals, but sometimes you get someone who's not a professional comedian and they kill it because they really take instruction well. They listen to the comedians. They pay attention to what they have to do here and there. and then they get it right. And it's awesome to see just like ordinary civilians doing their thing.
No, because comedy will tell you, I'm not your friend. Especially if you're not a comedian, it'll tell you, I'm not your friend. So if you don't prepare and you don't work on it, it will show you on the night. And those
Oh, yeah.
people who are incredible, it's because they've done the work and they listened to the writer. They listened to the comedian who advised them. You understand? It's like when Kim Kardashian did SNL and she killed it.
Yeah.
She
Yes.
killed it because she listened, you know?
Yep.
Like people underestimate preparation, my friend. Otherwise, the gangs will be like, "Who are you? What are we doing?"
Right. And it's not like you're just going on stage to like read a script either, or you know, people are going to forgive you, because they will forgive you if you're doing, you know, a corporate function maybe, or if you're doing something that's out of your wheelhouse and you're trying really hard, because let's say it's for charity or something. But a
Yeah.
roast is the most unforgiving place on planet Earth.
This is true. I miss it.
Oh wow. Okay. Someone here, Theron says, Gareth, you were even mentioned by John Flismus. Apparently,
Oh,
Thibaut
wow.
Touch was up your asshole.
You got an honorary mention, eh?
I got an honorary. That means, you know what? Hey, listen. Someone said to
You're a
me
big
a while
deal.
ago,
Yeah.
someone said to me, I haven't been on radio for 8 years, and I haven't done TV with the exception of that show that we did last year, which was like one season of like news TV on it. You know, those channels don't have a lot of audience, but it was fun. It was a fun thing to do. But other than that, TV, it's probably been about 6 years. And if they're still talking about you, hey, that's a good sign, right?
You haven't
Yeah.
fallen off.
Yeah.
Still a big deal.
And Thibaut Touch is a huge suppository. So I would definitely.
Why do you think I
That's
walked
breaking
on
news.
Now, let's just talk about Women's Day for a second, because you were just saying if you really want to support Women's Day, come and watch some female comedians, which I like the sound of. I wouldn't do that because I want to go and watch female comedians. I'd go and watch it because they're hilariously funny.
Yeah,
But-
right?
But this whole Women's Day thing, I saw the president like doing his pandering yesterday. We need to make sure that women are paid the same as men, and all this shit that they say every time Women's Day rolls around. I always wonder, like, because we've discussed it a million times on this show, but I always wonder about those women who actually go and sit in the audience and listen to these politicians when they start churning out this crap, this patronizing, like, hi, yes, we are here to acknowledge the women. Like, there's a whole bunch of women in the front row just looking at him. And I'm thinking, they must have given you free lunch, free T-shirt, promised you that they'll give you, you know, like extra money this month or whatever. Because those women, you can just tell, they even see straight through it. They're not interested, but they've pitched because they're getting the free stuff. That's really the only reason I could think they would be there.
And they have a drinking game. They've gone, so for every piece of bullshit, they take a shot. So they're like, we're getting trashed. I'm sitting on 100 shots. So it's like, I'm sitting on 1,000 shots. So they know it's just for every bit of, oh gosh, let's just knock one back. You know, I mark Women's Day because of what happened all those years ago, because of the Women's March in 1956. I have no reason to say I celebrated. So I always feel like I must say something on Women's Day, but I feel like I'm not gonna say no BS like happy. So I'll put my happy in brackets because I'm saying I don't know if it's so happy. Because on paper, we were made like this country. Oh my God, our constitution, our rights, the women, positions open. Like, listen, we are eating freedom, ne? And then on the ground, it's a war zone. It's a war zone. It's a war zone. So I'm like, let's have.
I saw that they found old Sophie Williams de Bruyn, who's like the only leader of that march back in '56 who's still alive. And this poor woman, they always track her down on Women's Day and like harass this poor woman for like, give us something for the news, and then. Shame. I mean, she's the only one who's left. So she's like, oh God, all this responsibility's on me. And you can imagine her, like she said, and she's always cross, hey, because she reckons things are just not improved for women. And she's right in so many ways.
She is right.
She goes,
goes,
I am disgusted. She says, I am disgusted that this government in this country, there are still women being treated like shit, being raped, being pushed around, not getting the jobs they deserve, being treated like second-class citizens by this government. I watched, I was like, yo, there's someone who's not celebrating Women's Day. And she's one of the actual survivors of that march back in 1956. So you must know.
Yeah.
You know?
We must keep
And then
screaming till we go to the grave, Shem.
Yeah, I you know what? I think she's speaking though for a lot of women because I mean there's some horrific things that are going on. And then you get these effing politicians who are like, no, let me just say something so that I can make it all about me rather than what it really is. Just gotta love them, hey. They've got no shame.
Uncle Silili, when it comes to women, I don't, I remember at the height of
GBV. A horrible person.
No, but he disappeared. I just still haven't forgiven him because we were all like, yo, say something. And he was just blue ticking us. Blue tick the country. Remember? I was like, you're kidding me right now. Now. Yeah. For the first time, I was going, this country needs a sex strike for real. For real. We actually need to commit. Like.
Yeah. Well, so I had this apparently Patricia DeLille, who's still in politics, believe it or not. I mean, she's a minister. You would have guessed, right? She's got that party called Good. How many times she's launched the party? Just enough to keep her in business. It's just enough. It's like you open a shop and there's only 5 things on the shelf, but it's just enough. That's what she said. We had some conference in Cape Town as well with the Good Party. And she was like, no, well, she's got all these women there from like the Cape Flats who've got horrible stories about abuse and things that have happened to them. She's like, we need to do something about this. I'm like, hang on, babe. You are in Parliament and you're in. I'm going to call her that. I don't give a shit. And you're in cabinet, and you want like, some people must do something. I'm like, you've got a ministry, a whole ministry that you keep. Like, what do you want? Who must do something? You, when?
It's like a cop saying, someone call the cops.
Exactly. Help.
It's fine. Well, I'm glad she has identified the problem. Me, I'm saying it's a start.
Oh well. Like did you do anything? But you were flying yesterday, so you didn't really. When did you land?
Me? Yeah. No, I landed on the evening of the 8th. And then yesterday I woke up so early because I like things. I had work to do, and then now it's hitting me that I didn't rest. Now my body's going, sorry, Sisi. Sorry, but you're still you're tired. You're still having an American accent. Let's come back. So and it's tired. It's tired.
What about you, Simphiwe? Did you do anything fun?
I was with friends, so it just so happened that one of my friends, it's her birthday, and that's what we decided to do. We had like a young picnic, and we hung out like as friends, and it was really nice. Like that's all. We did not do anything too glamorous.
Oh wait, I had Jaeger bombs at night. That was a great. I forgot about that. I drank and ate mukhod cooked by a man.
Oh wow! Okay.
Where was this? Okay. At home?
No. I went to my bonnet.
Okay. You know what? I cannot, even on a public holiday, I can't drink during the week. Hey.
Oh really?
You just feel too shitty. Well, I do. I'm too old. You see, so it's like I'm old Madala. So now I can't handle it anymore. I can do weekends and I can do one night a weekend. I can still go big. I can still, pull out all the stops. I can party with the best of them. But yes, during the weekend. I mean, during the week, not going to happen.
So whenever you don't sip, you drink. That's why you can. You drink.
You see those people. You see those people who like are in their 60s or 70s, but they're like purple colored. You know the ones with a real puzza face. There's ones who like, those guys who like they lean on the bar like this in these bars.
That's stress. When you see people like that, that's stress. It's stress. It's called stress. They're going through life.
A lot of that they've done to themselves, Simphiwe. They're alcoholics.
I'm sorry, alcoholics for me are people who drink on schedule. Boma, I can't drink during the week. I can only drink. Those are good. I don't have a drinking schedule. I drink when it's available. And now you're like, according to
No,
my
I
schedule.
reckon. No, I don't think that's the definition. I think you've got to do something about it when you drink on your own. Like if you get home from a hard day and you're like, where's the liquor cabinet? That's when you know.
But there's
I
people that stay on
disagree.
their own.
Yes.
So you can't
And
wait for the weekend. You're just having one glass.
And we're coming out of a panoramic. You can't just be drinking. Some people are still being very careful. Hey,
Well, what do you do on a day after a big night like that? Because there's some people who swear that they found a hangover cure, and it's greasy food, or it's like headache tablets and lots of water, or I still have never ever found the cure. I don't think anyone that I know has. People say it, but I don't believe them.
rehydrate and orange juice for me.
that it?
I don't even call it a cure for
Why not?
everyone, but I've found that my hangovers are always related to dehydration. So I literally always have sachets of that thing, and I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm ready to go.
Okay, I'm taking that down. Noted.
I do.
Or smoke weed when you know you're done drinking and you're not gonna have another one. Don't drink and smoke and drink and smoke. Then you get greens. That's worse than any hangover. You get sick. But if when you're finished with everything, you say no, it's chaser time. Slut the young one. Friend. Tomorrow you're like, wait, what did I drink? How? Like.
That does not work for everyone. Please do not try this at home, kids. That really does not. I've seen this happen with one of my mates. They did exactly what you're talking about. It ended in disaster and it ended in tears. No, don't do it, kids.
Because they didn't go straight home. You're supposed to go straight home. Don't now you're entering people. This thing comes with a disclaimer. Guys, you must drink professional. But also when you drink, you look at your age. You go by decade by decade. Also, check yourself and be honest. I think that's also where we get lost. Just stay in your lane. The 20s,
Thabo
they
says,
know.
I find that people who discuss drugs and alcohol are the alcoholics. That makes all of us.
But it's a social thing.
Aesthetic says those guys you see at the bar are the ones who are stressed by their wives.
Just stress.
Or their lack of wives. You know you don't have a wife and you know you have clothes that need to be ironed.
Oh.
Or you know what your house looks like.
That's terrible.
Stress.
That's terrible.
Stress.
So Corona's Boring says tomato cocktail is the winner.
Yes, it's horrendous, but you're correct. I agree.
And Basitsana says oros.
Bastan.
Bastan,
are you in your late 20s? That sounds a little bit late 20s. Yeah, but you know those ones. Those are the ones who are like, oros, cream soda. Those are the young ones. Those are the ones who listen to the Yanos. Don't listen to those ones. That's not ours. That's not for us, Gareth. It's for that generation.
Oh, that's so good. Just drink water with your whiskey. A lot of water before falling asleep and some water in the morning. So Dogozo is like, none of that shit matters. Just do the water.
Okay.
Water with your whiskey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dedicated liver tabs before you party. People are really investing in their drinking. Dedicated liver tabs before you party.
Yeah, how's that, hey? Yeah. Now that's amazing. If you can remember, because you see, a lot of this stuff doesn't happen, like you don't schedule the drinking. As Tumi said, like, okay, tonight we're going to drink. Because then if you're going to do that, and you got to say it like that as well, and you take the tablets before, that's some planning, hey? Wow.
No, but if you take 2 Panado, okay, the last one that I know definitely works. 2 Panados with a glass of water when you're entering the bed.
Oh,
okay.
I know that one before you actually start drinking. Just before.
No.
Or grandpa's just before you start drinking, and then you're good to go and you will be fine the next day.
Sorry to digress, but when you say grandpa, do you know that my 8-year-old daughter found it so hilarious that this pill's called grandpa? Because we were talking about grandpa and she was on the floor and she's like, are you making it up? We're like, no, they're headache pills. And she's dead. She's like, how do grandpas cure headaches? She just could not comprehend. Now I'm sitting there going, why are they called grandpa? This generation will mess with your life. Because now I'm just obsessed with why is it, Grandpa?
Is this your 8-year-old who not, your son who says he's got a girlfriend at 8?
No, my daughter who says she has a girlfriend at 8.
Your daughter has a
Yes.
girlfriend at 8.
Okay.
Okay, so
My
now-
daughter,
I'll just-
yes.
All right.
She's telling me she's now LGBTQIA,
Oh.
etc. And I was like, cool, baby, that's excellent. And she says, Mommy, you're not mad. And I'm like, no, I'm not mad. Why should I be mad? And she says, because I'm too young. I say, so you know the problem. You've identified the problem. Why are you involving me?
Yeah.
Why are you making your moral compass?
No, but she knows. 8 years old. I mean, if she has a girlfriend at 8, she's very advanced because she's at 8. Like I don't think I even knew what the hell was going on around me. 8 years old.
Playing games. Are they not out and about? Street lights. That's their curfew. Like
yeah.
My kids out and about, no, but they live on the interweb. So what I like is everything my kids will ask, like everything, including my teenager who's 13. There will be things that have to do with the nether regions, and he will ask, like he will be like, "Yo, mom." Like when he got his first morning glory, he was like, "Mom," you know. I just and I was like, I love we have this open relationship, but you have a dad. Like it's not in my toolbox does not include that. But I was still like, oh, my kids don't talk to me about anything. So I'm not surprised you told me she had a girlfriend. But it did have me going, damn, we're living at a time where, at that age, that's when they get taught, don't touch me, it's my body, my body. And then if she's already now discussing LGBTQI, which goes to sexuality, because I also feel like my next conversation with her has to be so, what does it mean to have a girlfriend? Like, what's the difference? How do you know you like girls, not boys? And I go, it's interesting that these conversations are happening younger and younger, because the people I speak to, their kids are getting younger and younger, who are telling them, Dad, I identify as this, don't call me that anymore. Right. And I really don't want to hurt members of the LGBTI community by saying this, but when kids are that young, sometimes I go, are my children moving with a trend because they're seeing this, in their line of sight? And how much of this is internalized properly?
You've been in the US long enough to know that this is a big hot issue at the moment, is that they, especially for young girls, a lot of girls are identifying as transgender because other girls are saying it's cool. And so imagine, because we all know how mean young girls can be to each other, right? We all know how difficult it is to deal with bullying, like who's the coolest, who's not the coolest. And they're talking about how this is a social contagion, in that if you're a young girl and you can be, first of all, the minute you say that you're trans, no one can be mean to you because it's bullying of a very particular kind. You'll get into huge trouble. You can't victimize people in the LGBTQ community. So all these young girls are like, first of all, it's a great way to not be bullied because you can say you're trans, and then it means you're in a special protected group. That's number one. Number two is all the cool girls are doing it because when you're going through changes, as these very young girls are, their bodies are changing. They feel like they don't belong in their body. They feel uncomfortable in their own skin. It's hard to deal with. Some of them don't have parents like you, Tumi, where they can talk to them about stuff. So they think there's something different or wrong with them. They think they're wrong body or whatever. So they go through all of this. I'm not saying this is true for everybody, but if you look at Bill Maher was saying this the other day on his show, Real Time. He was saying, why is it that in states where, they're very like left leaning, they've had like a 60% increase in some of the schools in people who identify as transgender. 60%. He reckons that if you look at the numbers, the number of kids identifying as one or other kind of LGBTQIA, whatever it is, has doubled every generation. So, and that's not to do with tolerance. That's not to say that, it's because we live in a time where people are more tolerant and everybody understands and you're allowed to be who you want to be. All that stuff is awesome. We want that. And support that. I don't think anybody in the world would say, no, we must be mean. Imagine people who still think it's okay to be like mean to gay or lesbian or trans people. But they basically said on the show of his, it's doubling every generation. So by that estimation, he said by the year 2038, we'll all be LGBTQI+.
Which technically we all are. I'm convinced. I just feel like it needs to get to a point where it stops standing out. You know what I mean? It's like the schools in South Africa
haven't we got there already? I mean, like
not quite. Like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it needs to be like I've seen schools in South Africa where they've integrated disabled children with able-bodied children, or this differently abled. You know, nowadays you'll also get cancelled for still using old terminology. So differently abled kids. In some schools, there's actually an integration, and what happens is it stops being an othered thing when you're out in the world. You know, and I think that's important. If it becomes a natural part of your world, then you naturally, when you're building stairs, I have to have a ramp, you know, because there are people who are gonna need a ramp. So I almost feel like if people stop being sensitive Sallys from both sides and go, the plus side to this is a time should come where it's not such an other thing that it's a big deal. You know what I mean? Where you don't, it's automatic for us to throw he and she around, and you know what I mean? But it needs to come to a point where we can just very easily, they is a natural thing we can show, throw out, and asking somebody how they identify can be as natural as asking them their name, you know, because for some people it's important how they identify. It's a big deal.
That's usually, I've said this before, I think it's usually the case that for a lot of these people, it isn't so much that they're a they, but that they haven't got any personality. And I'm being mean now, but this is the truth. Like, there are genuine trans people, but they're a tiny, tiny proportion of the population. Tiny. Like, it's always been, and we of course in history have treated these people very badly. So that's why we now feel guilty and we feel like we need to compensate for that. Doesn't mean they get to change the language though. I don't go they, them as a part of a sentence where I'm referring to a single person. It just doesn't make grammatical sense. And I'm not going to sacrifice that. I'm not sacrificing language to make you
fighting
feel better.
on a language level.
Yeah,
your phobia lives on a linguistically. You are linguistically.
I'm not going to say they, them as a singular. It just does not. That's not how you speak the language.
You're starting a war. You're starting a war.
I'm happy. It's a war I'll go for. Don't tell me how to speak my language.
No, but the transgender people, I must say, I'm a huge, huge supporter and backer of transgender people, because I feel like they've taken it from everyone. They've taken it even from the gay community. You know, they've been sidelined. They had nowhere to go and had to go and find their own cave to go hide in. So I feel like they must throw more at us, because I really feel like sometimes you must take the nonsense out of them. It's like how Hollywood at some point, and even now, like a lot of American TV, went heavy representational. Sometimes you must just shove this stuff down people's throat so that they can just get it into their minds and go, okay, the world is not just me and my perspective. The world is this. It's jelly beans. And if I want to live in it, I must just be prepared to jump into a new jelly bean every once in a while. But at the same time, if you are the jelly beans you are jumping into, be prepared. And don't just now jump at offense and attack. To know that I'm going to jump into jelly bean territory that I'm not familiar with. Therefore, you need to be ready to educate me and not just jump at a fight every time. Sometimes I am genuinely ignorant and genuinely curious. If you're not going to allow me to ask the question, don't then, make the fact that you're a jelly bean important. Because if it's that important to you, you have to be open to people going, I don't know this.
How you identify has actually got nothing to do with me. And if I don't ask, I don't go around asking people what are their pronouns, because you're opening a can of worms there. And I also don't expect everybody to be asking me about myself every time I walk into a room. How about we just have conversations about things that make us laugh? Or
let's not speak in English. How about let's not speak in English? Because there's no pronouns.
Okay, but then all right. But then what? Speak Spanish where everything is gendered. Everything is masculine or feminine. How about French?
No, let's all speak an African language. Let's do African language.
Everything is gendered. I mean, people are saying now in America, they're talking about the Latinx community. You know who the only people who don't use the term Latinx? The Latin people. They're like, fuck you. We want to be called hombres and señoritas. Don't give us there are two different things going on there in that language. A table has a gender. Countries have gender. So yeah, it's going to work in some places. Try that shit in Saudi Arabia. See how well that goes down. Try it in Qatar, where you just go. Try Qatar, where you just come from, telling them that you support the LGBTQ. You see all these corporations on like Gay Pride Month. They all like change their colors to the rainbow flag, but not in Qatar, not in the UAE, not in Saudi Arabia, not in Southeast Asia. Oh no! Suddenly those places are like, shh. Everywhere else in the first world, they're like rainbow flags. Yeah. It's bullshit.
Guys, if we can still have war in 2022, I feel like all this other stuff will always exist as well. If we can still have war in 2022, where war is so normal, the Russians are still going on holiday. I was shocked. I'm like, what? Your country has declared war on people, and then you go, I need a holiday from all this war. Let me go. And I'm like, it feels wrong. I'm like, how are these people even still traveling? How? What is your moral compass? Don't you feel guilty?
What
like,
do you mean?
Are we still
going? No, but are they going to the war? No. You need to give people a break. You know?
Go on holiday.
Yes, but stress. It's the war. They need a break from
the war. It's the people not being hit with the freaking guns attacks. Is it the Ukrainian people that ones who must be going to the beach to go take a load off?
There are a whole bunch of Ethan says on Friday, a lady approached me while I was sitting and enjoying a ciggy. The first question she asked me is, are you gay? I replied saying I had never slept with a man before. I was so disappointed in my fellow women. Obviously, these days, anytime anyone gets all uptight with you about any of these things, you just go, did you just assume my gender?
No, but how was he smoking the cigarette though?
How
are you handling this cigarette?
How do you smoke? Okay, show me the way.
No, I'm just saying. Sometimes, because have you seen those guys who are awkward with straws and bananas? And you're like, why? It's just put the damn thing in your mouth and stop being awkward. Because now
they'll never do that. They'll have to shake it, cut it, throw it up in the air, do stunts. I don't know.
They need a banana.
It up. I don't know. Like guys are always doing crazy things, but just to put it in their mouth, that's not happening. No. And no.
And I'm like, I'm sorry. If all those things are making you think about what people will think you do, you must be doing it. Why is that the first thing on your mind? I mean.
Well, it's time for us to look at some headlines. We're almost at 7:00 already. I can't believe how quickly the time has gone. So let's just briefly have a look at the headlines because we need to know what's actually going on in the world. Don't you agree? Or are we wasting our time here? So Serena Williams has decided that she's maybe going to retire from tennis after the US Open. Maybe. And obviously, if people are talking, they're like, well, again, if she is retiring, I just think awesome. Like, what a career. And to quit while you are still relevant, you're still at the top, you're like the biggest star in female tennis. I think that's indisputable, right? I don't think there's anyone who comes close to her. So she has suggested she's going to retire from tennis, saying she'll be evolving away from the sport after the US Open. Writing for Vogue, the 23-time Grand Slam singles champion said she's moving towards other things that are important, adding she doesn't like the word retirement. In an accompanying Instagram post, she wrote that the countdown has begun. So she's only 40, but what a life, huh? What an incredible 40 years.
And she's still playing. Like, I know sports can be very ageist, after you reach a certain age, they're already looking at you and they're like, So she's 40 and still playing. Shout out to you, Serena. Shout out.
And she's got that bowery. You're like, you're retiring for who, for what? There's no need. You just mean you're just going to stop. You're going to do something else.
That's interesting. You say like sports ageist. I reckon that the sports and entertainment businesses are probably the most ageist of all. If you look at like TV, you very seldom see like an old woman on TV, right? Like Barbara Walters was the last really old woman on TV. I don't know that there's so many old women on TV.
Yeah, you've got me thinking now, eh?
But even the roles that are given to mothers is like people that are still young. They'll be like 30 something and they're
Yeah.
given the role of a mother.
Yeah,
So
yeah. They you see,
Wait,
and I
can I
blame
tell you something? Not being
I blame America for this also. Like America, they worship youth in America. They worship like you've got to be young, and like there are not a lot of people, not just women but men also, who are in that business past a certain age. And if you are, they only give you those like very old people roles.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, guys. You know, in soccer, you know, there's the term soccer age exists for a reason. I think they are the true OGs of fighting ageism. When you meet players who are like, they say this guy is 23, and you're like, my guy, I'm sure me and you were in high school together. And there's no way you shaved off 8 years while we were.
Yeah.
Those guys mustn't cry about ageism. They are beating it at their own. Is it really ageist though? I don't know. I think in acting, acting gives you longevity.
Well, you're
I
pretending
think.
to be other people a lot of the time, right?
Yeah, but also the older actors are getting really meaty roles. Why is this chick's name leaving me? What's that chick from the Titanic? Jack's chick. What's her name? The actress.
Oh, Kate Winslet.
Hey, there's this thing. There's this series I'm watching now, and my gosh, she is doing things to it. She is incredible
Really?
to watch. Yes, and
okay.
it's an age thing. Younger, I don't think she would have given it the gravitas she has given it. It's called Mayor of something. Ish. See now, guys, my brain is gone. But anyway, I think older people are I don't know that people are actually peaking even older. Like, look at Connie Chume. She's doing Hollywood, and she is like in her 50s, isn't she?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Morgan Friedman, yeah, he was a guy, but damn, as soon
Oh,
as
yeah,
he started
for sure.
becoming gray and becoming Gordon Mandela, that's when we were like, Morgan Friedman.
Oh, maybe
Sometimes,
you know what? You make a good point. I'm not going to even argue my side of that anymore because I think you've just destroyed my argument. You're just like, well, here's some examples. Blah, blah, blah. But I do think age is like something you can either get into gracefully or that you fight hard. And you see these people who are fighting age hard. I spoke to a friend of mine, a guy who's 42, so he's even younger than me, and he has just been for a little
Botox. Did he do some Botox?
no, not Botox, like an actual like lift.
Oh,
an actual
42.
okay,
Huh?
like removing
Yeah.
just the wrinkles and just being a bit okay.
So
I'm here for that.
I said, this guy, are you, really? Like 42? And he's like, yeah, that's what he wanted to do. And listen, I don't begrudge anybody. You could do whatever you want. But I mean, and he probably, I haven't seen him for a while, so I'll report back and tell you if he like, it looks a bit weird or whether it's good.
Yeah,
But
I don't know.
I think if you want to do that stuff, go for it. But people can get addicted to that too. And you know, if you chase that youth, and that's all you want, and you want to be young forever, it can become like a mental illness. I mean, like a lot of things. If too much of anything, oh yeah, do me, yeah.
And they look the opposite now. You look at them, you're like, well, you were 40 when you started. Now you look 60, child. Like you.
I am riding this African Botox. You know that one? I'm riding this thing. I'm like, work for me, please. I think I looked older when I was younger, and now that I'm older,
Well, I mean, I wasn't just being nice when you started the show this morning. It's like if you compare the Tumi Morake that I mean, when did I meet you? We probably got to know each other what, like 7-8 years.
Yeah,
somewhere around there, properly. I mean, I knew who you were before then. You were famous, but probably interviewed you a couple of times, but only really got to know you. I mean, I do think some people get better with age
and money.
I think you're one of them.
Yes, thanks.
You're not ugly. You broke.
Sadly,
when I look at
my photos, I can see where the money started. I go, this is when I moved up in the tax bracket.
You can afford a skincare routine. You
Yeah.
can afford the latest what.
And
I promise you
it's
that
mostly
glow up. Money.
it's mostly that I could afford to not be in the sun as much.
Yeah. No, you know what, Simphiwe, you are so right, because you look at those memes that they also do where they take like famous people like Kim Kardashian or Beyonce or whatever, and they show what they would look like if they were poor. You know, like just what ordinary people look like with their bad hair and their and their crooked teeth and their bad outfits and their shitty makeup. And if you spend, you can improve, but you got to spend quite a lot.
But poverty isn't as hard on dudes, though. I don't think. Like, I don't know if you know chicks who are struggling with poverty dick, and those guys are hot. It's like he is.
And whoa, let me tell you, those boys, they will have like one. It's not even a skincare routine. They'll be like, all I do is wash my face and put Vaseline, and they be glowing. They flawless.
And they use that green sunlight. That's my everything. It's my face
green
and
sunlight.
Yeah, the green sunlight, tapa.
And you're just like, my nigga, like, why do you look this good? Why? And that's true. No, the guys definitely
the guys.
The guys get away with it.
Look organic. They look like those organic vegetables at Woolies. You're like, ooh.
You're nice. You're very nice. I can take you home.
I can throw you in my budget, because you know those ones. Then you need a budget. I can throw you in my budget.
If you had to choose, all right. So this is a great question, and I got two women who are already like, you two know how to look after yourself, and you also have high standards for other people. So you're not going to give me platitudes and bullshit here. Okay, you got to choose. You can either have perfect teeth, perfect skin, perfect hair. Only one of those three. Which one is the most important?
Perfect teeth, perfect skin, perfect.
That's true.
Teeth. No, I like smiling.
What do you reckon?
No, but like I also like taking pictures so I can smile without showing my teeth. Flawless skin. I'm sorry. Yes. Like you can look.
No, have you seen people with ugly teeth? They're like,
you just need to know your angles.
Like
when you have flawless skin, you just show one side.
I only got my teeth sorted out in my 30s, and but look, before that I didn't care. I still smiled like I do now. I didn't give a shit. I was like, whatever. You don't like my teeth, you don't. I don't care. I mean, I've never really cared what people think of how I look. So I reckon Simphiwe is right though about skin. Man, if you have good skin, it also makes you seem way younger, right?
Yeah, but you can wear makeup.
That's a lot of work. That's 40 minutes of your life gone every day.
Not as a guy. I mean, like, and
yes,
as a woman, well, yeah, I know a lot of guys are wearing makeup. In fact, this ad was like the other day. I was on Instagram, and this ad came up for like male makeup, like Australian. Mm-hmm. It's like an Australian thing, and I was like, yes, sis. Okay, it's obviously a thing. Like there aren't male makeup counters at the pharmacies and things yet, but I'm telling you, it's coming. I mean, I'm sure that's a big thing everywhere else in the world already. But
yeah, you guys are grooming. Yeah.
There is something though about a woman who hasn't put on makeup and her skin still looks amazing, and that's great, right? That's really then you get the jackpot. But Basitsana, Ruth, they're all saying teeth. They say teeth are the most important. Cheryl, so they're agreeing with you.
Because also you want to get a person like you must look like I'm gonna be okay to open my mouth to your mouth. Like I'm so like.
Yeah, like dental hygiene, very important.
That's the thing. Huh? Like you're gonna imagine all those people who met during the height of panoramic during these times, and then now you're in love, you've committed, and then it comes off, and the devil's second cousin.
They look like they could eat an apple through a tennis racket.
Woo, friend! And that time you want to ask, are you a cunning linguist? And then goes, hey, it's fine, never mind. Let's not. Injuries.
Once you're in love, does looks even matter? No.
What? You're lying. You're lying. The minute you start dating that guy and he was wearing a hoodie, it was winter, he takes off the hoodie and discover he has calves. And you still go, but no, not when his hips don't lie. In fact, hips tell more truth than your hips. You're lying. Be
Well,
honest.
listen, we somehow already are at 7 o'clock. It feels like we've spent 10 minutes, but I've got a hell of a story for you about one of the things that Silili said in his speech yesterday. It's probably going to irritate you, but let's see what you think of this. That's coming up next. We didn't get through any of the headlines, but the U.S. has invested $280 billion in high tech so they can compete with China. We're going to have to get into that. Simphiwe also wants to know if the world has become less colorful. And she's actually got some stuff to prove that the world is getting grayer and more boring. Not more colorful. Not those jelly beans that Tumi was talking about just now. So we're going to talk about all of that and more in a little while. The brilliant, amazing Tumi Morake is here with us, Simphiwe Mthethwa, and me and you, and we will be back in just a moment. This is cliffcentral.com. It is a Wednesday. Stick around.
This week on the Auto Trader podcast. Because at least with the private sale, or the private buy, should I say, let's not say private sale, the private buy, you get to drive the car. You might, the private seller might let you take the car to a place that does a condition report like we spoke about last week. The private seller might give you more information about the car, give you its access to its service history via the OEM, and more information than you could ever get. So that's why I say the private buy is a better buy than the auction. Catch us every Monday at 9 a.m. on YouTube and on autotrader.co.za.
That's right. It is Wednesday morning, cliffcentral.com. Well, what makes Naked's insurance products different to everyone else? Well, it's how it's powered on the latest tech to give you total control over your cover and to make insurance faster and easier than ever before. You can quote, buy, and switch insurance whenever it suits you, even at 2 a.m. You can manage and customize just about every aspect of your cover on Naked Insurance on their app. You can change your details or your excess. You can update your cover. You can pause it when you're not driving. You can make claims, and you can even cancel with just one click. The tech behind Naked also results in cost savings, which are passed on to their clients in the form of lower premiums. Go ahead and visit naked.insure or download the Naked Insurance app to sort out your insurance without even having to make a phone call. It's that easy. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. they're fantastic, and you can tell them we sent you. And maybe even nicer to you. Not that you need to talk to anybody. You just go on the app. All right. So here she is, Tumi Morake and Simphiwe Mtetwa. It's a Wednesday morning. It's the day after Women's Day. So we got lots to get to. Tumi, would you say you're Gen X? Like, I think you and I are both Gen X, right?
I don't know how those alphabets work. I have heard these conversations and I've never quite I've not understood this. Gen Z, Gen. Why are we X? Because we're before Y and Z.
Yeah, I think so. I don't even know how these things work either, but pretty much anyone who was born, I think, between 1975 and 1990 or 1985 or somewhere around there. So it's somewhere, it's our sort of range. So
Okay.
Someone put this up on Instagram, and I thought this was hilarious. So the person who posted this is a millennial. He says, "I don't mess around with anyone over the age of 42. They're built different. Their families had them formally trained in something by the time they were 2. They had the keys to the house by the age of 5. They could cook full meals at 7 and were pretty much self-sufficient by 9. They left their house at dawn every summer morning and didn't come back till nightfall and survived all day on water from garden hoses. They might get a sandwich on the off chance somebody's parents went shopping. They spent 3/4 of their lives by themselves, with a parent maybe checking on them twice a month. Most of them have evaded at least one kidnapping attempt, and they know 15 different ways to remove bloodstains from clothing. They are the real fuck around and find out people." I thought that was pretty hilarious.
That is frighteningly accurate.
Spot on, right?
It's quite spot on. It is.
I mean, I do remember, I remember my parents when we were on school holidays. They'd say, "All right, go out and play, get out of the house." And then we would we'd come back when the sun came down. You know, that was it.
We are the kids who survived secondary smoke. We survived. We ate things from the floor. No 10-second rule, it's still fresh.
Oh, yeah, for sure. In fact, you would dare your friends to eat things off the floor. You'd be like, come on, eat it. Go on, I dare you. Go and eat it. Go on. It's been lying there for a whole 3 days.
Yeah. I look at my kids and I worry, oh, you guys are soft. You are soft. You are allergic to life even. They're allergic to everything, including life.
Yeah.
You send them outside, it's like you've given them a death sentence. You say, go and play outside. Why? What are we supposed to do? It's the strangest thing. We used to fight to go outside. Now I'm like, what are we supposed to do?
That's exactly right.
Like, this is a true story. I've been asked this by my kids. And I'm like, what do you mean? What do you find something creative?
Right.
Bored, Mom. And also the Wi-Fi doesn't reach outside. And I'm like, first of all, you're in America. You need to fix that accent. Like,
hey.
You don't smack with beats. That's what you must just do.
Yeah, well,
you can't even say no, then they'll tell you, like, Mom, I'm going to be traumatized. Already, in fact, at 6, my son, I remember.
If you speak to me like that, or that tone of voice, then it makes me anxious.
Yes, they love that term, anxious. I remember my kid at 6. My kid at 6 was like, I was sending him outside. He was being such a pain in the ass because I was like, it's my child. It has to be a pain in the ass. And then I tried to send him outside. And he was, when I go outside, I'll have nightmares. I'm like, so wait, you're already considering consequences of, hey.
Yeah. Yeah. These kids need to just be, they need to be reminded of like how we grew up. And I know every generation says this, right? Every single generation, if you go back into ancient history, I'm sure you can find someone who's like, these kids of today, they're just so soft. But it's true.
It is true. They're soft. True. Don't body shame me. And this was my my middle kid. My middle kid was
in your house.
Yeah, but he's also the smallest person in the house physically. He's the thinnest person in the house. Don't body shame me. I was like, who the hell is body shaming you? He's saying I should eat because I'm light. I'm like, but you need to eat. Your BMI is low, bruh. Eat. Don't body shame me. And there's my chunky daughter all like, and then this guy.
body shaming
They
him
have
because
it
he's
too easy. They have it
unbelievable.
too easy. Can't talk
And
like that.
and the ones in South Africa who called Nelson Mandela Nelly M, I'm still not over them.
Nelly
I think
M.
I laughed for a week. I laughed for a
Nelly
week.
M.
Nelly M
Nice.
was trending, and I'm like, who's Nelly M? This was like, what's this, 2 years ago?
Wow.
And I was like, who's Nelly M?
That is something. Holy shit. Really? Nelly
No,
M.
that's peak
Nelly M.
disrespect.
No, but these are the kids who call.
No.
Have you seen the dictionary? You've seen the dictionary of this generation, the South African one.
Yeah.
Yes, but
This is the
Nelly. No, guys, people's names. Like I can understand. Like there's no. Whoa, I'm not okay, and I'm like still
You're in that
youngish.
generation. What are you talking about? Yeah.
Oh gosh,
And,
there are
Nelly
people.
M.
They are, yes. Isn't it you are the guys who talk about Sky Daddy and that's God? And what else? You call ancestors the underground gang.
Underground grand.
It's Takazelo, you call them what do you call them? Family bars.
Yes. It's the script. No, whoa. Let me explain. That's more like the Skrish kids, you know, and Skrish is like the
Is
hip
it
hop
just
kids.
for you guys?
No, it's not. It's actually I'm a 2000 and I'm a 90s baby, right? So we also don't understand I'm a 2000, but they also have like these own terms, and we all like, where did you guys get these? Like, how are you calling ancestors underground gang? And you're calling. Yeah, and then you're calling God, you know, you're like, yeah, the guy in the sky or
Sky
something
Daddy,
like that.
Sky Daddy. Sky Daddy.
Like, no, guys, this is just a whole lot of disrespect. Like, no. And then you're like, guys, I'm actually traumatized.
I nearly died. This sounds like Skitos. I'm like, excuse me? Skitos. Mosquitoes.
Oh, you're kidding. Skitos.
I died
Well,
at the
How much are you paying for school fees again? That's what I'd remind them. No, we're not speaking like that.
When I hear these things, it makes me feel like this.
What the hell?
No, like, guys.
So speaking of all of that, someone sent me this picture yesterday, which is hilarious. Back then, when my mother and I used to and there's a picture of the mother chasing the kid with a stick.
And you know, this was the worst decision you could make.
Nobody. You could trust
to run away
as the kid.
Yeah.
But
also don't run away. Because everybody's gonna catch you. But also that was your worst choice. Because now you're gonna get the beating for your transgression. Then you're gonna get the beating for making her run.
Yes. And you know that famous line, don't, like when you're still tearing up and you're trying to just soften them, they're like, oh, I'm going to give you a reason to cry. You see now, I haven't touched you. I'll give you a reason to cry. You see that one?
I think I still need therapy for that line. I will give you a reason to cry because I become more hysterical.
So you'd say that to your kid now, and they would be like, well, then I'm going to phone Child Protection Services.
But you see, people go, oh, my parents raised me like that. I'm okay. You're not. Meet your children. Look at what the DNA that has gone into your children from your trauma. Now they need inside voices and they can't use full English words. And we created those people who birthed us and beat us. We're not normal. Look at what we are in jail for compared to what people before us were in jail for. We are not okay. You can't say, yeah, they beat me and I'm fine. You're not fine. You're not.
Oh, my God. Listen to this quickly. This is Cyril yesterday for Women's Day, all right? I know it's going to irritate you, but I got to throw it in. It's in the news. All right, so what does he talk about? He said this with a straight face, all right? He goes, women should be compensated for housework. Okay. Women's Day was celebrated on Tuesday. No, but listen to this. Attended by thousands of people. This was the celebration at Richmond in KwaZulu-Natal. Minister of Women in the Presidency, Maiti Nkwana Mashabane, who, of course, was moved there from international relations because she was so shit. What has she done as Minister of Women? I'm trying to think. Anyway, she shouldn't even be compensated, let alone the rest. So the president delivered his keynote address. He said, there's been a lot of progress He says, our young women today can be stars. They can be judges. The door is open. But he acknowledged there are several obstacles facing the country's women. The time has come for us to pay unremunerated work, the work that women do, and the time that women spend doing work in the home, which limits their ability to earn money through employment or run their own businesses. So I don't know who he wants to pay these women who are being uncompensated for work in the home, like being moms, being, the wife, being the housekeeper, the homemaker. I don't know who he wants to pay, but I'm pretty sure that there are already people paying for that. Or am I missing the point?
Well, there are husbands who are trash, who are not compensating Miguel. Instead, they're controlling the economy of the house. I mean, I remember there was a time I used to work in the insurance space, and you would find that a lot of widowers, their biggest cost is to, once you replace the mother in the home, you're paying for childcare, you're paying for a cleaner,
Mm-hmm.
and that is very expensive. And au pair is freaking expensive. And I mean, you're going into tens of thousands of rands, right? So let's say you're paying your au pair like 18K a month, right? And then you must still pay your domestic worker. And let's say you're paying them minimum wage. So she's maybe leaving with about 5K, right? Your wife who's cleaning every day and doing that stuff every day, and she doesn't even have it. For her, it's not even 9 to 5. There's no hours of work. It's 24/7. He's right. She should get compensated. But I feel like in a way, in a relationship, the compensation is I'm freeing you up to do the work. And when you bring home the bacon, that bacon is my pay, right? I feel like that statement is a little bit also dodgy. It's like not well thought out, because I don't understand. But at the same time, I see what you're trying to say. It comes from a good place of the person who wrote that down for you.
Yeah, but who's paying is the point. Who does Cyril want? Does Cyril want the other tax-paying women who are already having to do all of this stuff to contribute? Huh? So it must come from tax.
Who's tax?
Whoa.
Hold on.
Because this might incentivize me to be a stay-at-home girlfriend then. Oh, stay-at-home.
Well, this is
whatever.
Like Sasa is incentivizing these girls to become superstars of the Sasa Hall of Fame with like 3 different children by 4 different dads. No.
Well, I mean, some people will do that for 350 rand, and I mean, I don't think any of the three of us have ever been so desperate that 350 rand would make us do something that would cost us for the rest of our life. But who knows? I mean, who's going to pay for this? Of course, tax. So Cyril, because he's not going to use his own Cyril Ramaphosa McDonald's money to pay for these women.
It was stolen. Didn't they steal it out of his mattress?
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, but who's going to pay? Obviously, everybody who's already paying for everything, including paying Maiten Kwana Mashabane's salary every month. Again, like, start with her. Let's send her home, and if we send her out of government, that would be a major win. I mean, this is unbelievable that she even has the cheek to show her face. But Cyril wants us to pay. Now we must pay for other men's wives to be homemakers.
It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. It only makes sense to me and my partner. Like, what he's talking about is very much what couples need to be talking about when you meet a guy and you're like, hey, I have a career. I want to be a stay-at-home wife.
We even have to discuss this. Like, he knows he's talking shit. He knows he's never going to be able to do this. Yeah. So he knows all he's doing is pandering. This is my whole problem with these politicians. And I said this at the start when we were talking about Women's Day. And Tumi said, like, she commemorates it but doesn't celebrate it. You don't say Happy Women's Day. Because this is the kind of bullshit. He's like, we must compensate women for housework. Who must compensate who? And how do we qualify?
His statement should have been, we must compensate women for having babies. We must give them paid maternity leave of 6 months. We must improve services
But he's not going to say all that.
OBGYN access for the poor people. If you want to, in fact, give us a tax break for our children. Do you know, like in the US, I've seen that if you have children, you actually state your children who they are. You put their social security numbers there. Friend, you get money back. You get money back for taking care of your children, basically.
Right.
So he must put it, if he wants to do something with the taxes, because he's feeling like, oh yeah, we chow enough of your taxes on things you don't know about. Let's at least compensate people for that. Do that.
Oh, but then what all the people who don't have children are going to say, well, why don't we get a tax break? We're not putting more people into the system. Why don't we get
You'll
a break?
get different tax breaks. No. One fight at
Now
a
it's
time.
getting complicated. Yeah, let's think about that.
Like,
You do that. I'm
yes.
like, hang on. No, so you're telling me now I must pay for Tumi's children too when I didn't make them?
Yes. Because they are citizens. We are supposed to take care of each other. Umuntu ngabantu.
We already are.
We are
We already
built on.
are. That's why all of us, if you pay any tax, you're already supporting a bunch of people you don't know that you didn't make.
But we are supporting people you don't want to support. Me, I would rather be supporting that family than supporting that freaking Bentley that shouldn't be driven, or that freaking mansion in the middle of a desert.
But you're asking for a tax break for you. That's what you just said. You said, as you know, like in America, they've got these tax breaks for families. So now you.
But those are people
asking
who are waiting.
these-
But how are you submitting taxes if you're not making money? You can't submit, isn't it? So it means these are people who are also working and contributing taxes. So you're getting your tax back, basically. You understand? So technically, you're not paying for my children. I'm being given a tax break because I've had them and they chow my money. Which is true. They chow your money. It's like the tax break you get for going to school and for running your office in your house, right? They're going, okay.
But then, okay. So if they give you, let's say, give you 5% off for every child, or even 1% off for every child, that's 3% that has to be made up somewhere else.
It doesn't have to be made up somewhere else. Okay, you're speaking as if you don't live in South Africa, where we know these people are squandering our hard-earned money.
Exactly.
Just say, take a little bit out of that money for your second Makwapeni's house and his 10, bastard children.
Listen, you're getting closer and closer to what I think we should do, where we shouldn't be paying any tax at all, because they just steal the whole lot anyway. So, I mean, let's just get to that point, then we'll all be happy.
But the country needs to run. Country
please.
Needs to
What like it's running so well now when we're all paying tax.
It is. They even forget to stop to load shed nowadays. Well, we're working.
It's, no. Don't get too excited. Bring up over. Don't get too excited. Do not get too excited, because when that press release comes out on Twitter and they're like, "Oh, we think we might have load shed." No, it's effective immediately. Stage 8. Don't get
But they must be committed.
You can hear Simphiwe speaking like someone who's been hurt. She's been hurt.
I'm traumatized. I'm just waiting. I don't trust them. I'm just like, it's going too good. It's going a bit too good. Something can't into off. No. No, why is the country working?
Can't into off. Electricity, that's what's off.
So Tumi, Sanele says, no, Tumi, I'm not paying for your imaginary body shaming activity. It's so great. I love that. That is so
that was funny.
Well, I mean, funny. Cyril, you know what? Basically, he's just saying whatever he has to say to get people to still like him, because he's dropping like a stone in the popularity points. And I mean, these guys will say anything they can, and we know that they don't mean it. That's the problem. It's like they just, and I feel sorry for those people who are still like, they can't do anything for themselves. They're desperate, and they'll eat up anything he throws at them. I feel sorry for them. I really do.
One day the people will wake up, they'll get angry, and they'll do something.
One day needs to be soon. It needs to be now.
We're not mad enough. First, the women are going to lose their shits. That's when it's going to start turning around. Watch. I think the women of this country have not gotten angry enough yet. We have not. We have not.
Plenty of reasons. Plenty of reasons.
We have a lot of reasons, yeah. The day will come. And when it comes, I pity the fool. Oh, I pity the fool.
I pity the fool. That was Mr. T's line from the 18. I pity the fool. Didn't he? He used to say that, right?
Sucker fool. He used to say sucker fool. Now sucker fool to you is sounding like Sapa the fool.
Mr. T. Oh my God, that's hilarious. I remember an Eddie Murphy sketch where he was like taking the piss out of Mr. T. It was so funny.
Oh, that gag. Wouldn't he be cancelled today for that gag? He would be cancelled, because it was definitely a gay punchline situation.
Yeah. Correct.
See, you can't even laugh at anything anymore. You can't joke about anything. And I go, but how do you tackle pain, guys? If you're going to police stand-up comedy, if you're going to police the most raw truth you could ever receive, what then do we have? Now we must really drink and use proper drugs, because how else are we going to cope? We need a way to say shit in a space that is safe, in a place that allows everyone to realize they're on the same page. Now, when you're going to come and tell me, but you can only say this, but you can't say, we're going to cancel you at this point. It's like, man.
But
so I completely
what do you
agree
mean?
with you.
My feelings matter. You know,
my feelings are hard. Don't bring your feelings to comedy. Then why did you come to comedy? What do you want to laugh at?
Like, you know, you can't just make jokes at my expense. What do you mean?
No, people miss the point. They won't even give you the context of what is being said. No, people irritate me. And the more it happens, the more I go, I'm going to get on stage and say some shit. At this point, just for the sake of it, I'm just going to go throw K-words and just go berserk for no reason.
Let me ask you this. Like, the worst to me is this bullshit. Like, Dave Chappelle was attacked the other day by this lunatic who went up on stage. Now, I do think like comedians are always on the cutting edge of making fun of us, making us take ourselves less seriously, showing what society's doing right and wrong. And I completely agree with you, and I'm not a comedian. So to me, you don't interfere in someone's show. It's fine to heckle because you're going to be slapped down. That's part of what comedians have to put up with. But you don't get up on stage and actually go and this is all Will Smith's fault. This is Will Smith's fault for what he did at the Oscars. And now all these assholes think they can do this to comedians. I mean, what would you do what would you do if someone walked up while you're busy in the middle of your routine?
Have
you thought about it? I'm sure you thought about it after all of this.
I have, because I've been threatened enough times to arrive ready and afraid. And now I'm at a point where, you get so scared to the point where, you could possibly kill someone because you'd be doing it in self-defense because you're so scared. You get to that point of fear where you're like, I'm going to do anything to defend myself. So
right.
I'm not saying I'm strapped, but you might not make it. And I don't roll alone anymore. Like, you can jump me, but just assume that your one jump, karma is going to arrive with immediate effect. So it's become a thing, because even in the US now, when we were doing clubs in Atlanta, on the Discord group, at some point, literally, this is a couple of months after this whole Will Smith thing, because it's like the audience got a little bit wild. And this was during Pride Month as well. And they were literally saying, for certain clubs, please, if you're going to perform at this place, drop your name if you're not strapped, so that you can be accompanied by a comedian who is strapped. Because this is what it's come to, where people are being physically threatened. And even for female comedians, where they'd be like, if you're rolling alone, drop your name. We will have someone walk with you, a chaperone, that sort of thing. And I'm like, what kind of world are we living in where now as a comedian, you're going to want to attack me because I said something? How underdeveloped are you psychologically that your only response to something someone says is violence? You understand what I'm saying?
No, but this is a whole thing.
Deal with your shit. Why did you come to comedy?
But
go to the last 20
years. For the last 20 years, people have been saying words are violence. So this is the outgrowth of that. And I'm telling you what's going to happen is, one of these days, the reason I asked this is because there is going to be a comedian who, as some idiot climbs up on stage to complain about a joke, the comedian might just shoot them dead. It might just happen. And then that shit will stop in its tracks. And people will be like,
then the headlines, Morake kills it, literally.
But this is not beyond the realms of possibility that someone at some point in some little club because we know Americans have guns all over the place, and they take guns into schools and God knows what else. That's their thing that they've got to deal with. But once somebody pushes it to a point where, like comedians, as you say, are frightened, I mean, something horrible is going to happen, right? And then these supposed activists who are going to fight the evil comedians are going to learn very quickly that there's a price that you pay for being an upstart at a comedy show. Like, just enjoy the show, or something terrible could happen. And I mean, it hasn't got there yet, but it could.
I did get self-defense lessons from an ex-bouncer, so I do know how to defend myself. But I also do worry about there are those keyboard activists who get very excited and they really rile people up. I mean, there's a woman who, after Will Smith was slapped, went on Twitter and said that she hopes someone, Will Smith can then come and get me next. And I was like, Mara bitch, are you listening to yourself? You as a woman are saying you wish a man can come and beat me up.
Oh, wow.
If you're listening to yourself, while you're on your high horse, your rickety ass high horse, you're not even listening to what you're saying.
But
and
it's also some person on Twitter or something who has, like, they probably, they've never done anything in their own lives anyway, and they're going to sit there and criticize you from the sidelines.
And people don't care about context anymore. All they want is give me the weight, give me the word, give me the person. Yeah, I've been waiting for my moment. And then that's it. So I also feel like social media has given people a little too much power in that thing. And then now it's starting to influence real life. And this is one thing I've always said, that people need to realize, we need to stop acting on social media as if social media and real life are two different things. Real life exists. And you're doing things that tend to influence what happens in real life. There are people who've committed suicide purely because of the bullying they're experiencing in a virtual world, So I don't know. I just feel like it's a tricky thing where bad things are happening because of words, yet words are the things we also need to heal. And words there are certain spaces that need words, and they need unhinged words. We need to get unhinged. We're going to be such a weird society.
Again, like if you actually believe deep down inside that words are violence, then this is where you go. You get to a point where, okay, now everything's violence, because it used to be that words could get you out of violence. In fact, the whole sticks and stones can break my bones, and people now make fun of that. But honestly, like, that's what people are putting up with. And don't tell me that someone saying something mean is the same as someone hitting you in the face. It's not the same. It's really not the same. Yeah. And I don't think that anything that Tumi or Simphiwe or I could say to anyone would be nearly as bad as if we became actually physically violent. And if you can't draw that distinction in your head, if to you they're the same, then obviously it's okay for you to get up on stage and hit a comedian because they said something that was mean. Then you're an idiot. I mean, that's how you think. There's nothing we can do for people.
Because it's very backward, because it means you can't use your words. No.
Right, exactly.
Use your words.
Right.
Yeah, challenge them to a fight. Tell them after school, let's go. Like, because also I feel like doing that when you rush up to a comedian, it's like, this person wasn't ready. He didn't see it coming. Like, this is not a fair fight, if we could say. If you really want to fight with that person, tell them 9:00, let's meet. Let's go. One-on-one. Hash it out.
Let me prepare. Yeah, let me prepare. Yeah, don't sucker punch.
Yes. Yeah, let's go. Yeah. You wanted to beat me up. Here I am. Let's go. That's the only time I'll take you seriously.
Yeah. And like,
now you want to come here as I'm busy talking.
In fact,
here's someone commenting here. Simphiwe, what are you doing after the show, Nan?
It's Mortal Kombat.
Lighthouse Barber says, I must buy a taser.
Yeah. I got pepper spray.
Yeah, I used to buy all my female friends like some kind of self-defense thing. I remember I bought Mabale one of those bear claw things. It's got like a blade at the bottom that you hold in your hand like this. If someone gives you shit, you can like hack them to pieces. She loved it. It was her favorite. But like, mace and that kind of thing. So we talk about Women's Day yesterday. This is what we should talk about. Is like, what kind of stuff can you buy the girls to like give them a bit of a chance in a situation with an
On Women's Day,
Mm.
just packages of those things. But government, then the whole consignment was stolen, and then it went to so-and-so's house. And you're like, but it's self-defense stuff. What the hell are they doing with it? And then you find that they're doing kinky things with it, like 50 Shades of Cis, you know what I mean? Because I'm always like, because even during the pandemic, there was a time I was very confused. They were like, whole consignment of these things were stolen. To do what with them? People, I don't understand. Food parcels stolen. For what? The people are hungry. So if you are stealing it or it's not making, what are you doing? You eat sushi in your house. So what have you done with the bread?
So with the food parcels, I mean, people were stealing food parcels, and food obviously goes off. So they were stealing stuff that wasn't going to last, that you can't consume all yourself. Like, what are you going to do with 500 food parcels? Huh?
Kleptomania. Maybe it's kleptomania. Because isn't it kleptomania? It doesn't make sense. You steal shit that makes no sense. Right? It's just you can't help yourself. You just want to steal. I think it's just come to that point where there was nothing left to steal because everything was shut down. Like, let's just steal something. I'm jonesing for a theft.
Right. Tumi is right, says Sanele. Mike Tyson said it best. Everyone's got something smart to say until they get punched in the face. Have you met one of these Twitter cowards in real life? They start acting like mice. That's exactly
true. I met the most meek. I've never been so angry. Met the meekest mother. Ooh, I'm so mad. No, I'm mad at myself because I was so lovely to this mother effer. Had no idea. So I decided I do these presidential unblocks on my Twitter every year. I just go, who am I going to unblock? Yeah, patterns. And then I unblock. I find this mother. Yes. I've never been so mad at myself because I was like, so this person was in my space. Was all
Hang on.
Not making eye contact.
So is this someone you knew? Is it someone you met at a
someone
show?
I blocked for being abusive on Twitter. They were so freaking ugly to me, and I blocked them. Meet this person. We have friends in freaking common, and they are them. I was like, oh. Next thing, he's being defended. No, he's not like that. Yeah, we've been talking to him about this Twitter personality of his. I'm like, it's not a Twitter personality. Your friend is a dick. Your friend is a dick. And you cannot defend him by going, but you've seen him now and you liked him. I'm like, yes, because
you only saw what a dick he was after you'd been nice to him.
No, when I was doing my presidential unblocks.
Because you finally saw the name.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you unblocked him, you saw all these terrible things he'd said about you.
And I'm like, guys, so this motherfucker.
But in the meantime, you'd been very nice to him.
Yes. Because he's such a freaking human in real life. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Actually, the other person who done this was just after that whole Jaka incident. I had this person as a guest on my show, WTF Tumi. And I knew they were weird, but I thought they were nervous about being on TV or whatever. Do I not then realize, because now we used to do a lot of social media on the show. Yeah. So now I'm gonna follow them so that I can tag them. Blocked. Said some racist-ish. And I'm like, and you were on my show, you mother effer. You agreed to come to my show. See you next Tuesday. I was so mad.
Wow.
People are two-faced as F, especially these high horse climbing mother effers. They drive me up the wall. Then we are sitting here dealing with unnecessary traumas while they are sitting there cooped up in a fucking hole, wanking over the fact that they got attention from us. It's annoying. I'm so over it. And it's actually taken the sweet taste of industry out of my mouth. And I'm trying to get that back because I'm going, I actually did let them get under my skin. This whole time I was so convinced. I was like, no, they never got under my skin. Yeah. Until I realized, why am I struggling to just jump back in and go wild again? And I'm like, because I actually am hard. But again, it's a choice. I'm not now running around and going, let us cancel, because I've realized it's my reaction to things. It's how you choose to respond to a thing.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I mean, listen, this happened countless times. I mean, I feel exactly what you're going through now. There's sometimes people I've met who I know are just like real douchebags when I'm not in the room. And they're saying shitty things about me. And I'm like, come on, Cliff Central, anytime you want, plug your bullshit. It's fine. I invite them on the show. I'm like, no worries. I don't mind. It's all good. It's fine. It's water off a duck's back, and it doesn't bother me. I go to sleep at night and I'm not angry anymore. You, however, angry all the time. I wonder why.
Yeah. Now I'm paging. Yeah, I'm paging me.
No, but
Yeah,
it's good. It's good. This is how you get rid of that shit.
Because also we're human. We're human.
Yes,
of course. Nobody always responds the right way, right? There's nobody in the world who's always responded the right way. I'm sure even Nelson Mandela was like, sometimes get out, that's some bullshit. I'm sure he did that to a couple of people.
Yeah.
They just keep that on the DL because they want him to seem like he was always in control. I'm telling you, some people deserve a bit of an outburst every now and then. All right, so I said that Simphiwe is going to tell us about this. So the world is getting less colorful. Is this a real thing?
Yes, it is, Gareth. Like there's less color on the roads, less color with buildings and brands. Like we're just getting more grayer. You're gonna see more gray. In fact, we're seeing more gray and more blue
I've noticed
over the decades.
In people's houses, like everybody's painting their houses dark or light grays now. Gray everywhere. Buildings are gray. Yeah, I see this.
Yeah. So there was a guy on Twitter who kind of went and did a whole thread about how like the world is losing color. So this is like the first graph to say like cars over the years, like if you start like I think a couple of decades ago, that there was a lot of color, like there was a whole lot of color. But now in 2020, you actually see more black, gray, and white cars on the roads. Like that's the majority of cars on the roads. And you even see it in this parking lot. So we are just seeing before in the 90s, there's just all sorts of color. And now you walk down any parking lot, it's just really black, gray, or white cars. It's very rare for you to see color. Even brands are doing it. So McDonald's has changed their aesthetic. In the 90s, they used to like be so bright and colorful, and now it's more like a modern, solid color. So this is where the world's going. Even in graphics, they're saying that we're seeing more neutrals, more nudes, and then, as you said, the interior of people's homes, where it used to be very colorful back in the day, and now we all want this aesthetic of like gray, white, and black. So yes, the world is less colorful, guys. Like that is the truth. The world is less and less colorful.
Does it speak to our mental health? I mean, Cliff Central's gone gray. Look, Gareth is in gray. I'm the only person in color. Like it's tragic.
I'm in blue.
Is it blue? And you're drinking from a purple cup. Bless you.
Did you see those car colors? Like, look at the most popular car colors. All right, so black, grays, whites, obviously. But then red is still quite good. Blue is still quite good. But purple, hardly. I mean, there used to be more purple cars back in the 1980s and 90s.
I feel like the 90s finished all the color. Yes, as the 90s went berserk with color. My God. The neons, it was an attack.
Green cars, and brown. Okay, so brown cars made a return by the looks of things. In around 2013, they made some brown cars, but now they're back on their way out.
Green, they're out.
Yellow and brown. Nobody wants those.
It's basically out.
But it's interesting. We have also become more reclusive. We are way more we're very, and the pandemic didn't help. Like we communicate more. How can I say? We are less physically connected in real time. We are all removed. So it makes sense. All the color lives in our phones and not in our real lives. It's almost as if we are all disappearing into the devices, and the world is starting to look like the inside of your device. Physically.
Well, I mean, Simphiwe, remember we talked about this the one morning where we were talking about font and how everybody, all the different fonts are changing to like the standard font, because the only fonts that matter, as Tumi's just pointed out, are the ones that are on your phone. Nobody's really looking at any other. You don't look, people don't look at things as much as they look at their phones anymore. So in other words, if you have a font that can't be read on a small device like this, then you're just not competing with the right people. Sense. You need your share of attention, right? So
we're gonna know it's bad. We're gonna know it's bad when LGBTQI take care of the rainbow. If the rainbow goes gray, then I know it's over. Then I know it's over. Then the world is in stuck.
Yeah, bloody loosely.
But we're heading
Black
there.
and white.
We're heading there.
Don't say that.
Acid Zill says black and white TV is back in fashion. Oh, remember those?
Really? I refuse.
That's sad. Okay, no,
I
I
don't
would not do that to myself. No.
do that. Yeah, Jonathan says all the cars in the chart of the cars in the 80s was the city golfs in red, blue, and yellow. Do you remember those?
Red, yellow, blue, golf. Red, yellow, blue, golf.
blue.
Uh,
That was good. Hence the depression and anxiety in the world. Colors of the rainbow can heal certain ailments. You need color.
Yeah,
Roy. We
need
want to see
colour.
pretty things. We want like beautiful, bright colors in the world. We don't want gray. The home pick is incorrect. We are moving towards real homes. Wood, doilies.
doilies. You had me at wood, lost me at doilies.
Oh, terrible.
No.
Wood
I
is
love
huge
wood.
right now, says Lighthouse Barber.
Yeah, I love
and
wood.
Beast
But
is
the
red,
wood is
yellow.
also grey, though. The wood is grey, I must say. You're right, we've gone to wood, but I'm seeing a lot of that light grey
agree.
and what.
Yeah.
The laminate.
Yeah, I don't like these gray. Every room in everyone's house is now painted some shade of gray. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Not good.
No.
Give me bright colors. It makes me happy.
Yeah.
Also, and clothes. Listen, I mean, I do understand clothes because everybody's trying to fit in, and if you think too much about your clothes, then you're wasting precious decision-making power on stuff that maybe because we're doing so much stuff virtually now, it doesn't matter as much. But I do like it. Like you would see if someone's really gone to some trouble and dressed up and they're wearing bright, beautiful colors, and they just, it makes everybody happier. Like I've got to say something. Every time Mum Jane, she always dresses up for the office.
Yes.
She's like, look, she looks bright and cheerful and excited and happy, and the colors are a big part of that. And I don't think we must all go gray. Let's not all become like Mark Zuckerberg.
It's a bit too late.
Because famously,
okay.
Mark Zuckerberg always wears a gray shirt.
Yes.
That's his thing. He's like, he doesn't want to think about getting dressed, so he wears blue jeans and a gray shirt every day. He's only got that in his cupboard. And I think that's so boring. And he is like a robot, if you think about it. He's got no personality. And neither does his stupid platform, Facebook. Doesn't have any personality anymore. So we don't want to be that. We want to be colorful. We want to be Jane rather than Zuckerberg.
Poor Facebook. Please leave Facebook alone. Facebook is family reunion. Like, honestly, if you have been neglecting family and you're tired of WhatsApp, Facebook is where you go find out if people are married yet. Like, don't
Facebook is the worst. It will remind you of the things you used to like post 10 years ago, and you would just like, oh my gosh, I was a bit too open on this platform. Like, I can't believe I was in high school, like busy, like, oh, BBM pin. And then like you like typing with all these characters with the $ for an S, and you're like, oh, this is tragic times.
You know what I miss? Throwing sheep. No, throwing sheep at people. Remember when you were throwing sheep at each other?
That was a thing.
They were onto something.
What was that game everybody played where they were farming? What was that game where everybody was on Facebook? I didn't ever play it because I didn't know what the hell it was. But there were people who were like, they had their own little farm going, and you would like, remember that thing?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Although I still get notifications, it brings up your memories and of like stuff that I posted right in the beginning of Facebook, like somewhere around like 2008, 9, somewhere around. No, sometimes I go back and it's like hilarious. I'll find a picture of like these these ridiculous things that we did back then to make each other laugh, because really Facebook was just, everybody was just trying to make everybody else laugh, and that was nice. That was fun. It wasn't all bad. Some of it, like you look at it now and you're like, ooh,
it's so cringe. You just like
for that shit now, but I'm still like, yeah, that's hilarious. That's good.
Before people could write monologues, people write monologues now.
They write entire essays.
Farmville. That's what it said.
Farmville.
There we go. See, I knew people would get it. We've got such smart people listening. So Dogozo says, I've been embracing some nudes and off-whites as far as clothes go lately. Okay.
You're going timeless. When it comes to clothes and color, like grays, nudes, whites, black, timeless. absolutely timeless. You can have like four items and come out with like 48 coordinations.
Combos.
So
You're such a girl. You're such a girl.
I started hearing while you were saying that. Lighthouse Barber says, this is something I've been meaning to bring up on the show. Food on wooden boards. Please make it stop.
Yeah.
What is
No, wait. No.
Why are people not using plates? Why must we have these wooden boards?
I don't know. I feel like someone ran out of plates one day and did that thing and went, actually, this is a thing.
It's very cool.
Guys, it looks aesthetically pleasing, okay?
You see.
It looks absolutely great for the pictures when you have your food there. And then obviously when you dish up, I'd say dish up on a plate. But like it just looks great. It's almost like a platter vibe when you have the okay, no, I'm not winning anyone here. Okay.
No, you
wooden boards. Please make it stop. Yes. There we go.
You like that hipster vibe where they serve you coffee in a freaking avocado peel and I'm just like, what are we?
Let me tell I've had coffee in a cone, and I think that was like so genius where you're drinking your coffee from like ice cream cone. And then it's like the inside of it has like chocolate, and then like the coffee gets poured in that, and you drink it from a cone. So
how does it not melt and start getting mushy and spilling all over?
It's the sugar cone, so it didn't.
Still,
drink that it didn't spill because I think but I think it's because of the coat, like the chocolate coat that they put in the sugar cone, and then like that's what it was actually delicious, guys. Like
you are one of those people. I'm about to do it. Yeah, I don't understand. It's like those kids who used to play with food in the house and then got into kak, and now they have money. They can play with food. I don't understand. You seem like the kind of people who like paper straws. Like that's the direction you're moving in right now.
No. I hate them.
Paper straws.
You can't. No, I hate them.
It's like, save the fish. Save the fish. Fuck the trees and the people trying to drink a fucking smoothie. Like.
You can't. And when it starts getting all mushy like that, and the paper straw starts to actually dissolve in the and then
it's
got
horrible. You
can't like you race against your drink. You like before the straw goes. Like last time, recently actually, I went to a place and the lady gave me the paper straw, and I was like, Sisi, bring 2 or 3 more, because I know it's not gonna last. I don't want to know. Quick, fast, in a hurry. Next thing you're getting brain freeze because you're like, this thing's gonna melt. How many trees are dying for those straws? You're not saving anyone. No. You're actually not saving anyone.
Yeah, correct. And those people, they'll use plastic everywhere else in their lives, but they've heard straws are bad, so that's where they want to stop it.
Yeah, paper straws in big plastic bags shopping.
Exactly, idiots. Melvin says, "Oh wow, what was that coffee in a cone called? Sounds inventive." You see, some people are getting into this now.
It's called that. Coffee in a cone. That's the name of it.
Where do you buy this thing?
So it was a coffee shop called The Grind. And the one I had, this one was by Melrose Arch. And that's what it's called, coffee in a cone, and you get served coffee in a sugar.
Wow.
Now your cubs are there. Your cubs are through the roof now.
No, because they don't add any sugar. Like it's just like
it's a sugar cone.
Yes, no, but there's coffee. Yes, I mean, come on now.
I still don't understand how this works. You're going to have to go there and take pictures for us, so that we know what's going on.
Of course, like I mean, I'm always open to trying new things, and I think that was great. And it's actually great coffee, guys. Like,
no, it sounds good, but I still don't see how it doesn't melt and soak through the cone. I don't know how that works. There's something structurally we need to understand about this. I have never seen a paper straw in the township. Exactly, because they're not going to fall for that crap. It's only like housebrows in suburbia who are like, can't use a plastic straw. It's too bad for the environment.
Never seen a paper straw in the township. What a statement. Because now I'm thinking about straws in the township. Like, that's quite an observation. Now I'm trying to.
Is this hurting your brain so early in the morning?
Yeah. Like, things you never think of. Straws in the township.
Yeah.
I don't think. Also,
Can I also say that the straw must not be too thin? Because if you spoke about a smoothie, right? Like the only time I really use a straw is when I'm having a smoothie. But sometimes it's got like stuff in it, or the ice, the little piece of ice. Yeah, it blocks the straw. It's got to be one of those fat straws. That's what you want. Give us those in plastic, please.
Yeah.
That's what people want.
But we have enough plastic in our bodies to make a credit card.
Is that what they say?
That's how much plastic waste there is. Enough that in our bodies as we are, we have actually consumed enough plastic. By the time you die, you would have consumed enough plastic to make a credit card.
Oh my God. But it's not still in you. Like you do, it does go out, because where's your body storing? It's not storing plastic anyway. So basically it just goes through your system. But that's still really disgusting.
Yeah, except for me, I was like, I'm an idiot. When this lady said this, I was just like, ooh, just picturing my whole body when I'm dead, like decomposing. And then there's a black card at the end, like a FNB card. Because I don't want to be just any credit card. Can I be black? Like last number, platinum. Like, this one is enough to make a SASA card. It's not good to make a credit card. It's enough plastic in it to make a SASA card.
That's so great. Only Tumi could imagine, like, as she's decomposing, there's a beautiful black card left. That's like,
and then she
no credit limit at all. You know what's going to happen now? One day, just like Evita Peron, they're going to dig you up so they can find the credit card. They're going to be like, don't let that woman sleep. When she's finished, there's going to be a black credit card under her. It's going to be amazing.
And they must stop it in a stripper butt. Oof.
Oh, wow.
Wait, quick one. I won't take long on this, but that was my welcome to Atlanta thing. So we have this friend in Atlanta. Asked if we'd done Atlanta. I was like, no, we haven't partied in Atlanta. So she says to me, do you guys want to go out? You guys want to go out? I'm like, I want to go out. Takes me to this hotel. This hotel has been there since 1965. Guys, the oldest stripper there is 72 years old.
Wait, what?
72. All the retired strippers are there, bruh. There's one stripper, had a cab, like a proper, my boob. Imagine me stripping, basically. I was like, there is a place for me. There is actually a place for me in the world. Like, because I always thought, I always wanted to be a stripper. It's too late. I had the children. Now
never too late.
It's never too late. But they do their thing. And it packs. It packs. No cameras allowed, nothing. Like celebrities go there.
Oh,
like these girls. And it is dingy as if you walk away there going, I know I have some kind of illness on me. I hope it passes soon.
And it's an old stripper place.
Since 1965. Jumping, packed. Packed.
That is something. I love that.
And the drinks, they're very, very generous with the alcohol in the drink. Like,
yeah, they want to make it rain.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, no. That beer boot Betty. I call it beer boot Betty. That beer boot Betty, I actually got a little nice. I was about to go and I want beer boot Betty to give me a left hand. And then I was like, I might get hit. I might get hit. Then I was like, no, I don't think I can handle.
70. Wow. I think that is absolutely phenomenal. Old strippers.
Bruh.
You don't see
people,
one of those.
Right? And she must get an award from the president also. You know how the president will go visit a 100-year-old woman. This is a 72-year-old stripper. That's an achievement. Because no stripper at that age. Me and make sure I even have removable teeth. I'm like,
In America, she should get like one of those medals of freedom or whatever they're called, you know?
Yes.
The presidential. And in this country, the Order of Mapungubwe, if you are an old stripper.
For your work.
For the hard work you've done to keep people happy. I mean, I think that's for. Why aren't we awarding old strippers with lifetime achievements? I mean, come on.
Only if they're still doing it. We can't just be retired as soon as they started to get a bit of a curve. I want those ones because I was like, guys, I'm looking at a beer booth right now, dancing in front of me. Like, you want to help her up onto the table and you're going, what is doing?
That's so great. Oh, you've just made my day, Tumi. Old scripted. That's fantastic. All right, everybody, we're out of time. It's been a fun Wednesday morning. It always is when Tumi pops by. And don't forget, she's got a show on this weekend. So make sure you get your tickets. They're on, what is it, Ticket Pro?
Ticket Pro,
You can get Ticket Pro and go and watch the ladies doing their thing on stage at Emperor's Palace. It's going to be amazing. The Theatre of Marcellus. That's where they're doing it. All right. I like it. Thank you, everybody. Have a happy day. And Tooms, we'll see you soon, huh?
Yes, you will. Please. Let's do this again. I'm around for a while. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, Simphiwe. We'll see you guys.